Oh, look, it's Bagahundro. I like quantum. It's cool. It's the future. I don't know what it is, but it's the future. I'm gonna buy it in my Robinhood. I'm gonna put $1,000 in. You want to know the bullish side of quantum stocks? Ask Bagahundro. Mustafa, it's not just the results that matter, it's the process. If a monkey threw a dart at a wall and the monkey picked the right stock, you're the kind of guy that's gonna go, hey, how much for the monkey? Let me get the monkey. Come here, buddy. I'm gonna pay $1,000 for this lucky monkey. What does that mean, XRP and quantum? XRP is the fraudulent cryptocurrency, right? The problem with bag holders is they don't know when to sell. So even AMC went up, GameStop went up, but the problem is they go up, they come back down, and the baggie will often double down. Is IonQ up for the year yet? I don't think so. All right, Bagahundro, I'll give you $500 if you can explain, even remotely, how quantum computing works. Listen, I made the choice to go supersize D-Wave. I'm happy I made that choice. If you can't really explain anything about how GPUs work, you probably... Marie, it's not that I'm happy to lose. Of course I'm not happy to lose. It's that the process by which I invest will result in losses sometimes. I made 24x in a few months. So losing 20% is not, the end of the world. I can handle it. When these stocks crash, I might double my money. I didn't short RegenCell now. So like in biotech, you actually do have to understand the drugs and the science. Because otherwise you end up buying Sarepta. I'm sorry. Otherwise you end up buying cassava. Sarepta's a good one. RegenCell is really not that interesting. So, the bag holders looked at cassava. They said this is a cancer cure. They didn't know the first thing about medicine. Cassava's drug doesn't work, and the stock's a penny stock now. Same thing with quantum. You can't explain anything about quantum computing. You don't know why these machines might be useful. You haven't talked to any experts. The blind leading the blind. RegenCell is a tightly held stock, so it's kind of like a rug pull. Well, see, in the biopharma hedge fund community, everybody knows biotech, science, and clinical trials and medicine really well. You're not going to find a biotech hedge fund with $1 billion that doesn't have some serious mental firepower. I think this guy might be a cassava baggie. Some of you guys think that some of you guys are cassava baggies, and you're happy to see that I'm taking some pain on D-Wave. But unfortunately, baggie, we're not the same. We are not the same. I have this thing called talent and good judgment. You do not. You look at a company like cassava, and you say, wow, Alzheimer's cure. Then all your money goes away. You look at a company like IonQ, and you say, wow, this is the future. But you can't explain why, and you've never done this before. Cassava's still going to go up. It's still coming back. No, it's not really industry jargon. Let's see. 23,694 divided by 30,000 is 21%, not 23. I don't know if you don't know how to calculate percentages, but I'm not going to update it every second. I'll give you a hint. It's new divided by old minus 1. You got this. I believe. People are not stupid. And I'm not saying you have to be able to write, Shor's algorithm or something to understand quantum, although it probably wouldn't hurt. I mean, you kind of do. That's the crazy thing. You sort of do have to understand the concept of Shor's algorithm. Otherwise, you wouldn't understand why quantum computer is any different from Dell. And if you don't understand that, then, you have no business being in the space. Most people should not be investing. No. I would just do new divided by old minus 1. I used to do that when I was a kid, Jono. I don't think Grover's works. And Grover's doesn't even get you a big speed up. But nobody's really shown a useful Grover's yet. Tilray at one point went up 40x. So before crashing to a penny stock. So stocks go up and down, man. What matters is, can you make profit and close the profit? So you gotta sell your stock at some point. No, we're comparing Tilray to quantum computer, not Tilray to UNH. Very different. The question is timing, but it's also getting direction right. You didn't have to time Tilray perfectly. If you timed it at the exact top, great. But you don't always have to time it at the exact. I'm starting to get excited. The baggies are starting to... We might be like Warren Buffett. What? Oh man, this is great. IonQ, D-Wave. Okay, baggies, settle down now. I'm trying to figure out if IonQ has a stockholder, a single stockholder that likes the stock, other than a bag holder.
see, we got Vanguard, BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, Geode, State Street. Do they not have a single institutional investor? That's how you know a company's a scam. And check this out. Okay, this is the holders list of IonQ, right? If you add this up, so you've got Vanguard and BlackRock, this SIG number is not actually right because it's like a lot of call options and stuff. So we calculate those. So it's 800 million, then Morgan Stanley. So let's call it $1 billion. The calculation, Geode and State Street, those are right. Citadel and Jane Street are, that's again like an options thing. UBS is right. Northern Trust is right. But if you look at the amount of institutions that hold the stock, I mean, if you exclude quant funds, it's even crazier. But I don't know how to explain this, but so this is around 9% of the shares outstanding. Then you got 6. So they call that 15%. Morgan Stanley is 3. So that's 18%. Geode is another 2, so that's 20. State Street's another 2, so that's 22. And the rest of these guys are very small. So you got 22% of the stock is owned by actual investors. Now, I want you to look at any other stock, literally any other stock with the same market cap. $7.5 billion. Okay. Let's look at like a $7.5 billion biotech. What's $7.5 billion? Okay, Perrigo. Perrigo's close to $7.5 billion. With Perrigo, so it's 22% for IonQ, right? For Perrigo, almost every share is accounted for by real investors, institutions. So this is 10%, 10%, 10, and 8%. That's 28% just in 3 stockholders. Dimensional is another 5, so it's 33. State Street's another 5, so that's 38. These guys I've never heard of, which is funny, but that's 41. I usually know everyone. 42, etc. So you actually have real stockholders in some of these companies, in most of these companies. Let's look at Sarepta. Sarepta, almost all the shares are held by institutions. This is same thing, 10, 10, 10, that makes 30%. Have 30, so this is 35, 40, 43, 46, 49, 52, 54. The fact that nobody is willing to buy IonQ stock is like so alarming. That also happened with like other bubble stocks, like marijuana stocks and stuff like that. More than half of D-Wave ownership is institutions. You think so, Zarate? Yeah, you might want to double check that, dogs. D-Wave's the worst of them all. BlackRock, Vanguard, and UBS, 11%. No, Zarate, that's not right. I don't know who told you that. What system are you using? Zarate, what system is telling you it's 55%? No, seriously, where'd you look it up? That's all you got to say. Just tell us. No need to hide. We were short Cassava before it went down 90%. Perplexity? You're asking Perplexity? Come on, my man. He's no better than that. Just take the L, buddy. Just take the L. Dude, Perplexity is not a time series information API system. It is a... None of these companies will get you that kind of thing. You need a system that, I don't even know how to explain this, is built to do that. I mean, it's very good for certain kinds of queries, but it's not good for deterministic queries with single value answers that are time series based. These models don't know what day it is, right? Okay, Zarate, then where did it get its source from? Because, you know, every other system says it's about 10%. I just showed you on Bloomberg, on Godel, D-Wave Quantum, QSIP 26740, W10. These are the institutions. 5 and 4 is 9, 9 and 3 is 12, 12 and 2 is 14, 14 and 3 is 17, 20, 22, call it 25%. Don't come on my stream and say the wrong thing. And especially don't come on my stream, say the wrong thing, and triple down when you don't know. You can't use Perplexity for financial information, buddy. You're wasting a lot of people's times. No, everyone was laughing at you. Nobody believed you. It's 26% held by institutions. Yeah, it turns out most of the financial information companies are not scraping HTML. No, you the only way
Okay, the way most people look up whether a holder, how many institutional holders there are, is exactly the way every site I'm showing you is doing it the same way. Our site, Godel, even good old Yahoo Finance has it. You add these guys up, how many institutions own it, and you get a percentage number. That's it. Trying to do SIP feeds or time and sales is not going to, come on. Oh, there's lots of ways to determine who's trading a stock at the moment. That's not the question. The question is who are the holders of the stock? I'm not having a bad day. I just don't like it when people insist that they're right when they're wrong. And then they ask us to teach them the basic questions. Are shares held and float held the same thing? Dude, weren't you just lecturing me on this half an hour ago? Now you're asking me for the basics? You were telling me Perplexity was right, but now you want me to answer the basic questions. Are you a student, Zarate? Are you a student? I've heard of every single biotech company. Have you ever heard of a company called ClearPoint Neuro? No. Just say long, because that's the right way to say it. Longing is something you do when you see Sydney Sweeney. I've never went long Snap. Shorting scams is just, it's one of these things where you have to be patient, because the idiots who are along the scams will burn themselves out on the scams, but they face a certain death. They can't get out. Unless they sell, they can't get out of the scam by the normal way, which is growth, like earnings growth or something like that. So the scams are all doomed to fail. It's just a question of when. Looks like they have this drug paltusotine and a tumolnant. Funny name. Okay, so it's for acromegaly. There's this whole series of drugs for this. Rigetti, they couldn't raise any money. They had to do a SPAC reverse merger because no institutions would touch them. Same thing with, in fact, all three quantum stocks were SPAC reverse mergers. I don't care if these stocks go up or down. I know they're going to go down to $1 at some point. I know that I can't time exactly when. If you think you can time exactly when, good for you. Go raise some capital. I'm sure lots of people will believe you, but I know I'm smart enough to know I can't do that. I mean, I know a lot of billionaires shorting D-Wave, top hedge fund managers, so I don't have to imagine it. We weren't wrong on Huma. We weren't wrong on Cassava. We weren't wrong on Galectin. Well, you would know you're wrong when the company actually starts making money or something like that. The share price is not. The share price, Buffett, a good example is Buffett said, well, the share price is like your crazy neighbor. And every morning as you leave your house to get your car to go to work, your crazy neighbor just starts yelling prices at you. I'll buy your house for $100,000. Or I'll sell you my house for $10 million. And you're like, all right, John, no thank you, but I appreciate it. But one day your crazy neighbor is going to say, I'll buy your house for $10 million. And you say, whoa, wait a second, what? Sold to you, buddy. Or I'll sell you my house for $5. And you say, oh, okay, I'll buy it. And, looking at the prices are just for you opportunities to make choices. Of course, there are people who believe that they can learn something from the prices themselves. I think that overwhelmingly the actual businesses are what matters. Buffett became the most successful investor of all time by studying businesses, not by looking at stock charts or price action or anything like that. I don't think Buffett cares about rallies, right? He's not a trader. He's like a private equity style investor. Whether Buffett cares anymore or not, I think it's indisputably he's the greatest investor of all time. A lot of the best investors on Wall Street are short D-Wave. None of them are long it. There's no D-Wave longs. Look at the holders list. Where's the smart money? I don't see you on here, ASW. Where's ASW Capital? Huh, I don't see it. I don't see a single investor that likes the stock. BlackRock, Vanguard, they're just index funds, right? They're just buying whatever they have to buy. You don't see retail holdings other than the custodian. Yeah. You know, if you've been in the business, you know what it looks like. You can't find, there's not one analyst on Wall Street that says this is a bargain. I like this stock. Or even as, a trader that's like, oh, I think it's going to go up. It's like, have you not been trading markets? Have you not seen the dot-com bubble? Have you not seen the 3D printing bubble? Did you not see all these crazy bubbles? Let's look at a real company, Crinetics. Yeah, you would have been long Enron on the price action. Oh, the AI bubble's barely gotten started. The company I started is now worth $2 billion. Sweet. They still have. I mean, they haven't. They issued so much stock over time, and they haven't been able to figure out how to. I mean, they have the same price as when I was the CEO. It's kind of just been a dog. When people get a big shiny CEO title, they start to think that they're, It's funny. The company had more products and more revenue with an eighth of the people and a much bigger pipeline. That is kind of nuts. A lot of entrepreneurs raise capital for their firms. One would be Elon Musk, for example, Palmer Luckey. I mean, there are some startups people will self-fund, but you do a mix of self-funding and. Okay, so let's learn something about acromegaly. I know quite a bit about acromegaly, but let's do this as if I'm one of you guys. I've never heard of acromegaly. It sounds strange. So I'm just going to go to ChatGPT. Rigetti did not generate a profit. Who is this Zarate guy, man? What's wrong with this guy? Why do you just all you do is write misinformation? What $43 million profit did Rigetti have? You're dangerous. I don't think he's a troll. Teach me about acromegaly. Acromegaly is a hormonal disorder characterized by excessive growth hormone production. Look at this Matans guy coming in over the top rope. Can we talk about acromegaly instead of the model choice? Some of you guys are like very smart, but very autistic. You're noticing the wrong thing. We're trying to focus on the stock. It doesn't matter what model you use. No, it's okay, bro. You know, it's all love. 1.5 million revenue, 43 million profit. No, it's all good. I got love for you guys. Thank you. Mark is focused on the right thing. But I still want to give Zarate this is the Zarate income statement. Zarate, explain to me how this works. Revenue for Rigetti was 1.5 million. But you're also saying that somehow, after deducting their costs, which we don't know what they are, that they somehow had profits of 43 million. Which button do you press? Teapot, you can buy more of a stock when it goes down, right? A lot of us, our average on Sarepta is like 40 something. IQ is still down 40% this year, 30% this year. Yeah, you generally shouldn't double down on a stock. Sarepta is a unique circumstance, but yeah, I generally agree with that. It's not, it's not always. Buffett doubled down on stocks all the time. Buffett loves doubling down on stocks. I think for most people it's a mistake, but Sarepta is unique because it's not owned by my homie. It's owned by, it's publicly traded. I have some friends that work there, but that's not the same. It's unbelievably cheap, and it's got a lot of hard value. A lot of the times I think they delayed the implementation of that, Tyrone. Oh my God, look at this guy. Oh my God. Zarate, we gotta ban you, man. I really don't want to do this. Can you just take a chill pill for a little while? Your amateur investing attempts are really not great. Well, I have to ban Zarate. But basically, Zarate, the reason you're wrong is that when the results came out for Rigetti, the stock went down 10%. And it persisted down the next day too. So when people looked at the Rigetti results, they thought it was pretty bad. So no, nobody got the one-time warrant adjustment income mixed up. Nobody saw that and said, wow, that's good. Everybody knew the Rigetti results were bad. But, when you're new and young at something, you're young and new, and you're trying to learn, just keep your mouth shut. Just try to absorb it. No, Mark, it's called leverage. It was a highly leveraged bet. Well, I didn't even use puts. I used calls. Very dangerous. But we kind of knew that the data was coming. So, I've done these binary events before. So I would be buying calls and shorting the stock. Capper is going to zero. Oh, look at Humacyte. Humacyte's given us a nice chance to short it again. I made about 7 or 8x on Cassava. Then I made another 50% on Galt. Then I made another double on Quantum. Yeah, I'm just short the stock. It went up crazy. It went up 50% on bad earnings. So I shorted it and, come down and we'll be up. I was the only real problem I have is with the broker. But yeah, I'd rather my P&L be up than down. But yeah, conservative broker, conservative. D-Wave is a really nice short because they don't have anything like a gate-based quantum computer. They just have this annealer. So I can understand if you want to speculate on IonQ or Rigetti because they're actually going to make this new frontier of computation. But D-Wave
doesn't do that. D-Wave fundamentally doesn't do that. They have something called an annealer, and the annealers have been proven over and over again to not work. Yeah, shorting meme stocks are really profitable. I made a ton of money shorting AMC. That's the whole point. Why would you buy a meme stock? You're supposed to short a meme stock. I've shorted a little bit of HIMS. Yeah, I was going to say, IMDb is a movie database. INMB. I started investing in, I guess it's now 31 years. I've seen a lot. The majority of the float is controlled by who? What? Foundations. What? Oh, yeah. Cryptos, whatever. Sometimes you get like a failed rug like Fartcoin, and then like still goes up even though the founder rugged it already. Regeneron is a rough one. I don't like it. I mean, I do like it. It's just such an ugly stock. I mean, but I would be long Regeneron. It's just like, man, it's one of these companies. It's like Sarepta, you know, it's been beaten up. The assets are really valuable, but how many pain trades do you want? Regeneron is another pain trade where it's like they've pissed everyone off, annoyed everybody. Everyone wants to sell and get out of it, but it's a really good value. I don't really know Symbotic that well. I looked at it for like an hour or two one time. I mean, Regeneron, you get the whole market cap with just Dupixent. So, you know, their pipeline decisions have been a little bit eyebrow raising, but I haven't been looking at XRP. Not trading Novartis. Never shorted Neo. Yeah, Regeneron's campus in Terrytown is very nice. It is a mini city. I've spoken to the administration. I mean, yeah, crypto is what it is. I mean, they like it. It's fine. Like I said earlier, D-Wave isn't even trying to make a quantum computer. They're making a quantum annealer. So the pie in the sky dream of quantum computing doesn't even apply to D-Wave. I'm getting close to betting my gender, yeah. If you want big returns, you got to be willing to take big losses sometimes. You know, you want moderate gains, you need to take moderate risk. You want baby gains, you take baby risk. It's up to you. You can't, I think, you know, there's insane risk. You can take insane risk, but, you know, the problem with insane risk is, you know, even if you're right, you might not live to see it. Yeah, you want the right amount of risk that lets you stay in the game, but also, you know, it has to punish you if you're wrong or early or whatever. But you don't want it to punish you so bad that it's over. And typically insane risks do not give you insane returns. They just give you insane risk, and, you know, it's very, because then you need to time it exactly right and things like that. I don't think you need to survive a 10x, because 10x's just don't happen that often, but maybe a 3x. Certainly a 30% move should not put you out of business in one stock. But, you know, 100% move can 150% move, something like that. And you know, you could, if you're worried about your existential risk, usually you can buy out of the money, really out of the money calls to hedge you a little bit. You can hedge any which way. Doesn't matter. Yeah, D-Wave is Sava level conviction.